Guys, if you're listening, I can't believe I finally did it. I think that I finally struck gold. This may be the ultimate strategy. It may have a few flaws, but this may be the ultimate strategy to getting revenge or just a little ironic, satisfaction from someone who rejected you. Now, I don't know, this won't work with girls. As far as I know, I don't believe this will work with girls. It may. If someone watches this and they try it out and it works, notify me. But, I haven't tested it out because obviously I don't want to tell girls of the ultimate strategy because this is really meant for guys. But anyway, the ultimate strategy, and when I say that, I mean when a girl rejects you, you may feel something's wrong with you, something is, maybe she just doesn't like you that way, maybe, and sometimes that's true. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, that one girl, she's either she likes someone else, or maybe she's too young, maybe you're more mature than her, and she's still like, into the, into the type of, teen stars, and she doesn't really know about real guys yet, and that type of stuff. That's, that happens a lot. I'm sure, a lot of times if you wait those people get older, then they would have been much easier to ask out and actually get somewhere. But that's not really the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is basically saying when someone rejects you, how are you going to get them back? And when I say get them back, I don't mean actually hooking back up with them. This is for some of those rare situations where someone rejects you, someone hot rejects you, or that you think is hot, or that you think is really cool, or whatever was going on. And she rejects you, and then you partially move on to this other hot chick. And so she's the one that you're really thinking that, because you're probably like, oh, let's say, Elizabeth, she already, rejected me. She already dumped me or whatever. It also goes for dumpings too. Well, depending on why you guys dumped. But if it was just because she was bored or something and she's like an adolescent teen, then this would work with her too. Now, for more serious relationships, like in high school, if you guys had some type of fierce argument or, someone got pregnant or shit like that, that's crazy, I'm way out of my league. I am not Dr. Phil when it comes to that. So you need to go find somebody else to talk to. But if it comes to petty issues or rejections or breakups based on petty things, then this should work. And it's basically, it's psychological. Alright? So what you're going to do is, say you have this other girl who you're starting to like because you think that Elizabeth is never going to be an option for you, right? So basically what you're going to do is, so you have this new hot chick named, I'm going to say for the sake of saying, Sarah, and then you have this hot chick that dumped you over something stupid, or you don't know why she dumped you or whatever, or she rejected you, and then you have this other hot person that's new named Sarah. Say you think that you're going to be able to actually go out with Sarah because she's sending messages back to you, while Elizabeth dumped you or rejected you, and you think that it's like out of your league, or there's no way that she's going to just change her mind magically, right? And you're right about that. What you have to do, you have to put yourself, and I know this sounds kind of, you're going to be a little iffy about this. Not every dude is good at this. But if you get good at it, this strategy will work 100%. You got to put yourself in the feminine position. And when I say feminine position, I mean you have to emphasize with females, even if you don't understand what the fuck their reasoning is, even if you're just like, man, what are girls thinking? Like, what the fuck? Like, how does that make sense? You got to discard all that thinking. Not saying you can't keep a little bit, but I'm saying for this particular exercise, you have to discard All of it. All of it. All of it needs to go down the trash. Start watching Guy Code. All of it. All of it. Alright? You gotta become the female mind for just a tiny bit. Not saying you have to have wet dreams of Justin Bieber or anything, but I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. You have to discard of your manly thinking for a second. And then the second thing that you're going to have to do is, like I said, put yourself in the feminine position. Whenever she has any type of trauma, let's say, now particularly with this, you want to try and get, you don't want to try to get in between her and a new guy who wants to ask her out. Because then she'll see that as jealousy, and she already rejected you. And then if she knows that other girl that you're interested in and she's interested in you, she might go tell that girl, like, you know, such and such is still crushing on me, I think, because he's stopping Johnny from being with me. He keeps interrupting our moments. And then that other girl will think that you are still attached to that girl. And then she'll, you know, she'll discard of you. She'll get rid of you. And then that will make both of your options obsolete. You don't want that to happen. That's the worst case scenario. Don't appear desperate and jealous. That's the worst thing you can do. I've seen it so many times. It's horrible. Don't seem jealous. Don't seem whatever you want to call it. What you have to do is put your... you typically want to do this before she gets a girlfriend. I mean, before... lesbians. No, before she gets a boyfriend. So, you want to try to do this before she gets a boyfriend, or right after her and her boyfriend break up, or he breaks up with her especially. If her boyfriend breaks up with her especially, and she really liked him, that is your best moment. But it can also be your worst moment, because you don't want it to appear like you're trying to get the rebound on a girl that dumped you before she got with this new guy. You don't want it to appear to be like that. Not if you want to still date Sarah, this new hot chick, and just keep this old hot chick that dumped you or rejected you as your backup. Basically, I know this sounds kind of messed up. You're like, man, how can this dude just sit there and say he's gonna have a backup bitch? Hey, that's how it works. We all know guys do it. We all have 5 numbers in our phone, more than 5 numbers in our phone. Maybe like half of those numbers are people who are actually hot, and then half of those people who are actually hot are people who we may have a chance with. And it always comes down to 2 or 3 people, and we're like, well, if it doesn't work out with her, then I'll just, you know, start. We all know that's how we think. We're guys. That's how we think, alright? You know, and I'm not gonna exempt girls either, because I've seen girls do the same thing. They've lured me into stuff, and then I say no, I don't really want to go out with you. You're, you know, whatever. Their personality's not good. You know, they're ghetto, whatever. All right, you know, I'm not gonna use the word ghetto, but you see what I'm saying. You know, type of ignorant girls that probably would end up making you catch a STD if you hang around them too long. That's not the type of girls you want to be around. So when you tell them no and stuff like that, they automatically, you know, they already have that backup system where they're just like, oh, that's okay, cause you know, Mike, he ain't interested in me. He think he too good. But you know, then they have another dude that, you know, is testosterone driven and thinking with his dickhead. So he'll probably end up taking her on. So you see what I'm saying? It's a double standard. We both have plan B and plan A and plan C and all that stuff. What you want to do is, I'm going to start with the situation before she gets a girlfriend. Give it about a month's time after she's rejected you. And make sure within that month that you've been presenting an attitude around her and around your friends, in case any rumors get out, that you're not affected. And make sure that it's not fake. Make sure that someone doesn't catch you in the bathroom stall crying your eyes out or some shit. like a faggot or something. Make sure no one does that stuff. Alright, make sure that you act like, for real, like you're just unaffected, like, especially if someone rejected you and then you're just like, oh, well, that happens sometimes. And then, people get the rumor that, hey, such and such, you met Sarah the other day at the movies. Now people think that you all moved on. That girl is going to catch on to that. And if she's one of the average type girls, it will bother her a little bit on the inside to know that she rejected somebody who she may have thought in the beginning was out of her league or not the person that she wanted to be with, and then you just kind of turn the tables on her and just kind of were like, that's okay, there's this other hot chick now. So now you may have a jealous chick, someone who, you don't want a possessive chick. Now, if you have a possessive chick, you should have never been hanging around that chick in the first place because she is probably batshit crazy. You don't want a freaking stalker after you thought that she dumped you and that you were going to move on. You don't want that type of stuff. Alright, basically, you know what I'm talking about. You want to get this girl that dumped you or that rejected you back infatuated with you. Or back infatuated with how you just got over that breakup so easily. Or just, because sometimes, I'm just going to be honest, sometimes girls are wicked. Whatever in the brain of a girl, I don't understand, but sometimes they'll just break up with you for no reason, simply to just see what happens to your morale and self-esteem after they break up with you. And I don't even think sometimes it's not really their motive is, their motive is not always to smite you and, be evil, but it's also something that you have to be wary of when dealing with girls in the first place, because they're really unpredictable creatures. They're from Venus, we're from Mars, and we both travel here in the summer times on Earth to find one of us and get together and fuck. But you just got to be wary of that type of stuff. When you're dealing with girls, there's gonna be some type of emotional strain in breakups or rejections. Okay, guys, let's just face that. Let's face that. Every guy is probably going to be rejected more than a girl would be. And that's another thing, because a lot of times average-looking guys have enough confidence to ask out hot girls, while average-looking girls may not have the confidence to ask out hot guys. Therefore, sometimes their slates are clean, not because they have always been faithful in their relationships or always ended the relationship. Sometimes it's just because they didn't really ever have the confidence to ask that hot dude out just for him to say no. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but I'm kind of rambling on too long. I kind of want to end this video before 25 minutes. I really didn't want it to be like this long, but basically what I'm saying is, you gotta get this person back infatuated with you. So say she hears that Sarah is really into you, you seem like you're into her, and you seem like you're completely uninterested in this other girl. And now Elizabeth may think that, hey, well, maybe she did think you were a little bit attractive, but she didn't think you were dating material. Or she had her eyes on someone else, and then that other person who broke up with her or whatever turned out to not be so cool. Then she's going to start liking you again gradually. Or especially in the scenario where her boyfriend breaks up with her or something like that, and he's not what she thought he'd be, and then you can move in and support her during her crisis. She'll like you for that. And then basically what will happen is that you guys will gradually grow closer and closer and closer until you guys are like peanut butter and Nutella. I'm just using that analogy because I've used this strategy on an Asian girl that I really liked. And since I'm the Nutella and she's the peanut butter, that's what I just used as the analogy. But anyway, I don't need you guys don't need to know anything about that backstory. But anyway, so what you want to do, you guys are going to go closer and closer until eventually You guys are going to be best friends. Or, well, no, let me not say as you guys, as a mutual thing. Alright? I know it sounds like kind of psychopath, like you're taking advantage of someone. No, it's not like that. But yeah, it is like that. But basically, what you're going to do is make it where she tells her girlfriends, McKellis, McKellis is me, by the way. That's my mind. That's my brain. I mean, that's my name. Anyway, so she starts telling her girlfriends, McKellis is my best guy friend that I have. When really on the inside, she really starts to like you more and more. But she's never going to ask you out again. She's never going to show signs that she's interested into you a lot. And if you ask her out and jump the gun, or not jump the gun, but really the strategy is just for moving on while still securing the person who rejected you, basically. That's basically what it is, alright? It's not really for you to ask the same person out. Because, see, the psychological thing is this. Girls have their own little thing of pride, too, right? Just like guys, not all guys want to seem like they just crawl back to this girl, and that girl just has him on a leash, right? Well, I call it having this girl on a whip. Basically what it is that she's going to grow to like you again. And then what's going to happen is that you guys are going to basically get so close to where she's going to be telling the rest of her friends that McKellis is the best guy friend I have right now. Like this same girl that I first used the strategy on, she was Asian or whatever that I just said earlier. She's on Instagram right now. She's talking about stuff like, like McKellis was my best friend and stuff like that. And that's the best way you get it. But that's where you want to get it, to where she's telling other people that McKellis was my best guy, was my black friend, was my best black guy friend, was my best guy friend, period. And what's going to happen is that girls have that sense of pride where if they rejected you and all that her friends know about it, she's not going to want to get back with you because her image will be stained. And I don't mean stained as like in to hurt your feelings, but I mean in the fact that she doesn't want her friends to think that she dumps people and then crawls back to them, or rejects people and then crawls back to them, right? So basically what she's going to do, she's going to stay as close to you as she possibly can without becoming your girlfriend. And it's also part about jealousy, because she wants to see what's going on with you and that other girl. So then basically what will end up happening is that there's a mutual agreement between two of you subconsciously. You want her as close as possible, so then you can secure her from other guys. And so then that can be your plan B if needed. Or just something to tell the rest of the world, just something to advertise your status, your brilliance in the art of womanhood. Basically, seriously. If people see that you have 2 and 3 of these strategized girls following you around who really like you, but they're too embarrassed to sit there and tell you, or they don't want to embarrass themselves in front of their friends, so you basically have these people on leashes all the time, and they're really just around you a lot of time too to check up on you and other girls. So you can end up having 2 and 3 girls that rejected you in the past following you around based on jealousy and liking you still, but they don't want to go back out with you, so they'll stay as close as they can to you. So they'll go everywhere with you, they'll go to the mall with you, they'll go to movies with you, and it will seem like you're having a foursome. It will, anything. It really goes that far. If you guys don't believe that the strategy works, well, no, I can't release that type of information. I was going to tell you guys names and tell you guys to go check out their Instagrams and see what they're posting about me. By the way, go follow me on Instagram at _MIKELIS _McKellis _MIKELIS LIS. Yes, I repeated that 3 times. That's not one big long username. Alright, so anyway, I was going to release people's Instagrams and all that, but I was like, nah, because I don't know if they want me to do that. If they end up seeing this video one day, what will they think? There's too many girls that I know, too many girls' numbers that I know. There's a girl right now that subscribed to me on YouTube, and I don't want her to know the secret. A lot of people that really don't need to know the secret, right? So I'm really not going to release people's information. But if you don't believe that it works, I encourage you, if you're a guy and a girl just rejected you somewhere, or you're thinking about asking out a girl, but you have a big doubt that she's going to say yes, please practice this system. Practice this, all right? Practice talking to your mom. Talk to your mom. See a girl's point of view. Talk to your aunt. Talk to your sisters. Talk to your grandmothers even sometimes. If your grandmother's not like, really old, then she may still have a good opinion. Talk to your female cousins. Don't talk to female friends at school. You don't want people to already be thinking that you're about to start some type of weird strategy to get people back. You don't even associate with people at school about this issue unless they're another guy and you're ready to pass on the knowledge. Alright? I was deciding that I wasn't going to pass on the knowledge for a long time, but I think it's about time. Practice this, talk to females, know their language, and eventually you'll get this down. You can get any girl who rejected you or broke up with you back to chasing you around when you're interested in another hot girl. So you can have 3 girls that are interested with you at one time, and one of those girls you're actually going to eventually date. Now, when you actually eventually date them, that person who still likes you is 2 types of girls. Ones that will probably run away from you and leave you alone after they finally think that you're not interested in them at all enough that you would just go to another girl. And then the other one is the one that's going to act like she wants to support you and is truly a good friend, truly someone that's great to be around, and that is just smoking hot, so you want her to be around and you can look at her ass all day, which is just awesome, right? Right, it's awesome. It's almost on the verge of friends with benefits, but not quite, because that's still a type of emotional sexual bond. We're not really talking about that. We're just talking about if you want a nice piece of ass around you all day and then have your real trophy wife waiting for you who's really still interested in you and you're still really interested in her, then this is the only way to do it. I guarantee you this is the best way to do it. Alright, it works for me. Alright? And I know that you probably thinking, man, what is the nigga talking about? Because he looked like crap right here on this camera. It's a Monday. Samsung Galaxy S3 flip camera sucks balls. And I just came from PE at school. So, peace out. This is Byafool. Hope you guys like the knowledge. And sub me up. Like the video. Share with your friends the knowledge, not your female friends. Hopefully you guys try to respect this male knowledge. But anyway, peace.